Hello, we are back. We had a little break out there. We refreshed ourselves. We had a little sip of wine. We visited various other locations in the building. But we're back, and we've got something very, very special for you.
Very special. So this is something which is...
It's so special.
It's absolutely... It's really loved within the fragrance community.
Yeah.
So it's from...
hugely loved, and for a good reason.
It's from Andy Tower, and it's L'air de Desert Marocain. So people like to refer to this as perfume as art. So Andy Tower is he's a Swiss perfumer,
originally a chemist.
Who turned to perfumery, and then he's tried to. Well, he's not tried to. He's successfully created this fragrance, which is a representation of the Sahara breeze blowing over the Maghreb desert to create. Oh God, it's such an amazing. This smell of exoticism. It's incredible the way he achieves this feeling of heat and warmth, but yet freshness. But the reason
is he looking for a literal capturing of this idea, or
I don't know. I think it's interesting because like lots of people say it is a very literal picture, but I think you can interpret it in your own way. And the reason I've included it because the fragrances I've selected for you, I've tried to think of food and drink, and this I think of food. I think it's.
Don't tell me what. Let me see if I can figure it out.
I'll give you an image without giving any detail. That he wanted it to be the impression of the dry, arid desert air coming in. But he's viewing all of this and smelling all of this from a hotel balcony, or balcony of anywhere it is.
In an Arab city.
In an Arab city with a souk in front. So there are all smells from a market coming up as well. So it's the combination.
So this kind of smells like dates, huh?
Anything you get,
straight up,
right.
like it's for me. That's kind of smells like they reach like.
It's such a special
Hit
smell.
me up. There we go. A little bit on my nose. It's wrong one.
Yeah. Like wow.
It's such a mind-blowing wonderful.
Such a great scent.
I'm going to spray this all over my face when I get there.
It's one of the. I mean, it really is special. This scent.
It's like the proper like sort of cinnamon and like dried spices.
You're exactly right.
You know, like
it transports you to that kind of soup.
It's super exotic, isn't it?
It's so transportative. Like,
and it's so bright as well.
Yeah.
It's so alive.
It's got brightness. It's got depth.
I'm hearing like such weird tonality and music in my mind right now. Like it's sort of like sort of call to prayer type stuff.
Yeah, you can hear all
way
that
more fun. Kind of like the call to prayer in the bar that's set in Star Wars.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly
Come to prayer at 5 a.m. If you don't turn up, it's fine. We won't kill you. We'll just go to the pub instead.
Because you're still awake from the night before.
It's also got sweetness. It's got depth. It's got. I think it's got so much to it. I mean, I really think this is. I mean, do you want to try it on your skin?
I love that petty. There's that petty grain.
We can't put all of them on your skin, but this is a good one.
And you find that that's like a profoundly different.
You do get more. You get a lot more, and it relates to your skin.
Don't
rub it because we'll spray it on.
Okay, sure.
But it's a very special fragrance.
The development of this thing over half an hour, 3 hours, 4 hours.
It's like so different. Like for me, this smell is as wonderful and evocative and fascinating is really this way. And the second that I put it on my skin, it's very like vertical.
Oh really?
Like,
That's interesting. So it's kind of refined.
It's different shape.
That's really interesting.
Like it exists within a much more
narrow
space.
That's really interesting.
Well, and so much of what's here is bouncing off the page and is all about the top. It's about that sort of that oxygenated first spray. Whereas this is saying I'm here to stay for 4 hours.
That's interesting.
Come with me on the journey.
Okay, I think we're going to move on. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
So we're staying within the Orient. And so we're moving back to L'Artisan Parfumeur, who we've talked about before, and Bertrand Duchaufour, who's one of our favourite designers. This fragrance is called Oud. So of course it incorporates a lot of oud.
And a little bit of oud.
And a bit of Al. I'm good by Al. Alan, Alex, whatever you like.
Hi Alex.
But
he's not watching.
This. If we carry on the idea of an Arab souk, this really does smell like an Arab souk, and it smells like I get a lot of dried fruit. I get cinnamon and dates and all those dried fruits that you expect. Lots of dried words. I also we've talked a bit about. I get a lot of funk to this. I get a lot of stale sweat. It smells like
cumin or something. Cumin there.
I was going to say for me it's more like dried spices.
Yeah. You think more like dried spices?
And I definitely, when you say dates, I'm getting actually more pronounced than the last one.
Yeah.
That was a bit more like sort of caramelized sugar and stuff.
Like sugar.
Where this is a bit more air dried. Yeah. Like it actually has a smell of like a natural processed coffee.
Absolutely.
See, what a great nose here.
Yeah.
I've never picked up coffee in there, but now you say it immediately.
Yeah. But for me, I think it's very evocative of an Arab souk. You know, if you imagine walking around a souk in Morocco or Lebanon or somewhere like that.
You know what I get here? I get a market, and I get the sort of huge bags of spices and peppers. But I get the fragrance of the sort of cloth bag itself. If you smell the cloth bag after it comes out, the sort of fabric and the spice.
Does anybody else feel like there's an underlying base note of like dried chili?
Yeah.
Like sort of like the thing that comes up from underneath is like actually spicy. Like you can smell it's really hot.
Yeah. Even though you've not tasted it, or when you tasted it,
There is a lot. Nobody ever talks about this fragrance.
It doesn't get any love, which is crazy.
But it's really multifaceted. It's really interesting. But
really stunning.
Next fragrance, completely different. So we go into the house of Jovoy, a Parisian house, and in many ways, this is a very Parisian scent. It's called Les Jeux sont faits, which
this is
means,
a masterpiece.
The games which are played, or you could translate it as the game is afoot.
Yeah.
And I think it's
join in or
and it's good to think of it as the game is afoot. We're playing games. We're gambling. We're all gambling.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything more. I'm going to see what Charlie thinks of this.
Give the man some script here, so we can.
Yeah.
There we go.
So the
title of this, the name.
The game is afoot. I get so much when I smell that. It smells
like juniper and pine.
Yeah.
And it smells like the chase.
Yeah.
You know, like it's sort of. It makes me feel like I could be in there.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish people could smell this stuff on the camera. It's one of the great tragedies of cameras, or being not in the room. Wow.
It's.
I love this. It's really good.
It's very different because there's been so much dimension and subtlety to all the things you've given me so far, but make me feel like there's sort of a more bassy and midi, and like this is very ethereal, right? Like this is like sort of like coming, like it's like in a punchy way.
Yeah, well,
but then up through the middle, some kind of like tobacco smoke.
Yes, There's a very strong tobacco scent. So this is supposed to smell like a gambling den, like a gentleman's club. So there's a really strong smell of.
And the bottle as well mimics that.
Yeah, it's a heavy bottle. It smells of cognac. It smells of rum. There's gin notes. There's a
gin. Time, like that gin.
There's a big gin note. There's an also.
It kind of smells like a gin.
It's an angelica note, which is a slightly spicy, slightly cuminy note.
God
It's really
almighty,
good.
it's absolutely.
But it smells. It's supposed to
I
smell
forgot
like.
that.
You guys know it's meadow sweet, like ever tasted or smelled much like it's an indigenous British sort of herb that you'll find kicking around. It's in season right now. It has a very particular sort of aroma, which isn't. It's kind of like a weird thing that might bridge kind of like a patchouli and like a cumin and like a caraway all together in like a very sweet way. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. This kind of smells a bit like that as well.
Yeah, I mean that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
But this is
so glorious.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's I think it's dark. It's moody. Incorporates
It's dark in a way that only like the darkest pink can be dark with a bit of grey.
But it's almost maroon. I think
like,
it smells like a gambling den. It smells like men in a gambling den with like the drinking heavy booze like rum and cognac and things like that. They've got lots of dark wood. There's aged leather.
Bad things have happened.
Yeah, bad things are happening.
Once or twice. There's been a little more to this.
Yeah. Do you not get that?
This bottle.
But I just like talking about it. Like that's the thing. Like that's the thing that
Oh my God.
I enjoy.
Okay. We've got to move on. Guys.
What have we got? We've got so many things, haven't we?
I think I'm going to skip this one actually. I'm going to go to this one, which is again. This is one which I've been fond of for a long time. So I've spent a bit of time in the Middle East, and often when you go travelling, there are certain flavours and smells which you associate with the place. And one I associate with the Middle East and Jerusalem and Bethlehem, especially in the Holy Land, is the smell of coffee flavoured with cardamom. It's such a strong flavour. Coffee is so rich, cardamom is so medicinal, and when you combine them, it's such a specific flavour. And so, Intoxicated by Killian is such. I find it very photorealistic. I don't know. You might not think it is. Let's put it on some paper.
Wow, that 1000% smells like cardamom to me.
I mean,
this thing is really a two-note masterpiece, isn't it?
I mean, there's also nutmeg and other things, but it just smells like Turkish coffee.
It's nice though in a way, like one of the things that's so glorious about the other things we've been smelling has been the variety of all the detail and the complexity of it. But then if you can find something like that's like magically fractionalized.
Well, that's what I say. It's like photorealistic. And they've done other things like cognac and vodka on the rocks and things like that.
Apple brandy, which
which they really capture.
Fuck.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, because it's like for me it doesn't smell like brewed coffee. It smells like coffee grounds. And it smells like it definitely smells like cardamom.
It's intensely aromatic.
And I mean, I'm loath to be influenced by what other people smell and taste. I've always, but I'm a firm believer in the fact that whilst there are certainly things that you will all arrive at when you think about things in a certain way and have an imagination for these things. Like, if I was smelling something different, I would tell you. I promise. But like that is you've nailed it.
That's it, isn't it?
You properly have. Ground coffee and fresh cardamom pods.
That's it, isn't it? And you could almost drink it straight out of the bottle. I wouldn't advise it. But you could.
You might be.
It's so stunning.
Okay, I think we're going to move on to our last fragrance now.
Well, this is a real.
I would consider myself a fragrance lover, and so therefore I think it's very difficult to say my favourite house or my favourite scent. But my favourite house it's definitely Areej Dore, which is run by a guy called Russian Oud, who's.
And this is a fragrance that you've looked at before?
We have looked at it before, but I'm going to come back to it because he's someone who's just absolutely obsessed and committed to making the most incredible smells and
very inspiring man.
And he distills and macerates his own ingredients and puts a huge amount of effort, which I'm sure is not economical. To making the most extraordinary
I'm going to
smell.
put this one on my radar when we're finished.
So this is Russian Oud by Areej Dore, and as I've said before, I've tried to come up with, because we're in this amazing bistro wine bar, I've tried to come up with things which are connected to drinks or food. So for me, this is connected to chocolate and caramel. I'm not going to say much more other than it's probably the most amazing
But I get a note
fragrance
here which I told you earlier on.
I've ever smelled.
A food related note, which I think actually is even
So
more
let's
interesting.
get a piece of paper.
Paper first, but I mean this has to go onto Charlie.
Yeah, I think
We
maybe
should
you
spray
should go
this all over
straight
Charlie's body. 10 sprays.
Put it on me.
Ah,
Get in there.
I'm so jealous of your arm right now.
What the fuck is that?
What the
like straight off the bat, like. Okay.
Sorry, Google people.
No, I'm not hugely apologetic. Like, if I'm honest, like.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I'm not like shit, man. Like, you know, sometimes you smell things which you feel like you have no reference point for, right? And I've tried to show these boys some wines tonight that kind of done that, but I love smelling things, but I've never smelled someone or something that kind of smells exactly.
But also,
like that.
we've smelled some really bold fragrances.
These are big hitters.
And you could always reference them and things, but
Yeah. But this feels so much more particular. Is that, am I right? Like you know, this is so completely on its own. It's weird because straight off the bat, it made me think of like drinking like a coastery Merceau, like a you know, fucking 2,000-pound bottle of Chardonnay, because of that cool climate, hospital bandage smells.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. You know, like okay, so that is straight up one of the things that
TCP disinfectant.
It's almost just like as if I could take a wine like that and use it as something that I would consume off the body of someone who I really loved. Like there's
for instance, Jovoy.
Yeah, I'll straight out of the belly button.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
No.
In a way.
I mean, this makes me want to go to like a very like dirty but romantic place.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not you know, like it's like there's
It's enough to make it
skill
a
set.
bad week.
There's labia here.
Yeah.
But like you know, like
Not the band.
like a really fascinating labia.
Yeah.
Here. Like you know, like they're all like and everything around. Like you just that is so.
The whole thing invites your nose in. It's not so much a smell that comes up to you. It
And
just
like,
draws you in like some sort of amazing.
Morello cherries and you know just like the tiniest little bit of desiccated coconut, but like not really.
You get any? So I also get maybe it's early days yet, but like chocolate and caramel and treacle.
Yeah, I get like
and
salted
patchouli.
caramel.
Yeah, salted
Like,
caramel. Definitely.
like salt, like yeah. I get
Does
salt.
anybody get cheese?
I get
I
cheese
get-
rind.
I get a very
cheese
rind.
rind.
Yeah, I get cheese wine. I get cheese wine.
Cheese
That
rind.
almost ammonia-y.
Yeah, and like the sort of thing that like when you eat something like cheese is so good that you kind of can't stop eating it,
Yeah.
and then you get to a bit that you kind of wish you hadn't eaten. But then also like it's very, like there's like Comte rind in there.
Yeah.
like you like that's really good.
Yeah. Anyway, I
Shit,
think
man.
It's absolutely staggering.
we're going to leave Charlie to sit in the corner and dwell over this fragrance,
Yeah.
but I think we're drawing to an end, aren't we, Joe?
We've got more drinking to do, and we
certainly
don't
do.
want you to be jealous. So we're gonna go. Oh my God.
What the hell, man?